Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? I hope you're well. We're heading towards the Easter weekend, which is a lovely time of year, I think. You know, we've got the sun out, we've got the holidays, it's all exciting. And I know many of you home sellers will be looking forward to a really busy weekend over the Easter holidays. What we tend to find is that it slows down a bit. It can be not as good as you might expect. Most people, families that is, look to go away at Easter. They look to visit family and they look to enjoy the children because the children are off school. So it tends to be not as busy as you might expect over the Easter holidays. So don't be surprised. We do get a lot of calls post Easter from people saying, I've been on with another agent. I'm not happy because I've not had much reaction over the Easter holidays. And to be honest, that is part of the course. We don't find as big a reaction over the Easter holidays. We tend to find when the children go back to school, mum and dad then get some me time, start to in serious intention look for property, and now the children are out of the way, they've got some quiet time, they can do that in peace and quiet. So the week following Easter, once the children are back at school, much busier. So if you are a little bit quiet over the Easter holidays, don't panic. It's still busy out there. We are finding generally the market's very busy and the offers are coming in thick and fast right across the ranges, from flats through to larger houses, even up to over $1 million. So it's good news that it's moving quite smoothly across the ranges. Sometimes we find that we've got a particular sector. Still, the sweet spot for us here is about £500,000 to £600,000 here in SW16. Did a great Homes Under the Hammer yesterday in Southfields, which will be broadcast hopefully soon. We'll let you know when. And that was an interesting one where we were looking at the rental yield on the property. But of course, there, because you have the tennis, you have the chance to rent the property short term just for the Wimbledon fortnight. And we worked out the Wimbledon fortnight that property would achieve, and it's just a small house, between £6,000 and £7,000 just for those 2 weeks. So I suggested if it were mine, I'd maybe go on holiday for those 2 weeks, spend £4,000 and still come back with a credit of £3,000 and my home back. Absolutely incredible, quite different. And, you know, but it's a beautiful place to be around Southfields when the tennis is on. If you've never been there, then I'd encourage you to do so. Get yourself up to Henman Hill and just get a feel of it. You know, there's a sea of purple and green everywhere, and it's a little bit special. We've had a few Homes Under the Hammer episodes around there. Don't know why it seems to be quite popular. I'm off to Beckenham this Easter Friday with the team as well. We're looking at a place down there, which really is suburbia, isn't it? But we'll see. Be interesting to see what that's like. Apart from that, what did I see this week? Oh, yeah, an interesting article from Kathy Wood of ARK Investments. Love Kathy. If you haven't followed her before and you're into tech, she's very much about innovation, tech, and investment into tech. And some of the things she says, I think, are quite prescient. And what she was saying at the moment was that it's the convergence of those technologies that are particularly interesting right now. So, for instance, what she's saying is that we're going to see solar converge with Bitcoin. And you think, well, how would that possibly happen? I know, right? Well, the truth is that when the sun's out, we produce more energy than we can store or use in the short term. And as the efficiency of solar panels becomes greater, so that problem will become even larger. And as it does, we're going to need something to do with the extra energy that's produced by those PV panels. And what she's suggesting is that the combination of a group of those panels together with other houses could then be used to mine Bitcoin, which would then produce a bigger return for the houses, which would then fund the solar in the first place. So it could be a win-win. And also Bitcoin, very heavy on the usage of power and electricity. If that power and electricity is coming from renewables, then it negates that problem as well. So I thought that was a really interesting idea. I see a guy's got a 10,000 square feet man cave in his garden, no planning permission for it. Completely, it's just unbelievable. If you look in the papers for it, it's just unreal. And he's just literally ignored all of his neighbours. Got this massive great structure right in the middle of his garden, which takes up the whole of his garden, and is refusing to move it. I mean, you know, just get the council in already, demolish it. That's what I say. Apart from that, we've got a busy day on valuations today. Lots of people looking for valuations, and that's always good to see. It's always great to get out there and meet people, find out what their needs are, and see how we can help them meet it. We've had a few businesses that are looking to move as well into other areas, and they've been approaching us in terms of finding and acquiring homes, because we also do that side of things. Sometimes people are looking for homes as a business or indeed as an individual, then they retain us and we'll go out and search and find those homes and negotiate hard for them. Of course, if you're selling through us, we do that free of charge. It's just all part of the service here at JA. So the weather's nice here in SW16. It's blue skies all the way. So should be a good day for looking around houses. And if you're out there looking, I know it's difficult right now, really difficult. My advice to you is, number one, be prepared. What do I mean by that? Make sure you're pre-qualified on the mortgage side of things. If you haven't yet spoken to a broker, do so, and make sure it's an independent financial advisor. Second thing is, if you've got a property to sell and it's not on the market, get that done first. If you're sure you want to move, you need to get that under offer, because if that's not under offer, you will not be taken seriously. And you need to be taken seriously in a market like today, because there are so many people out there looking, and you need to compete with the people that are already under offer, and the cash buyers, and the first time buyers, and the buy-to-let investors. There's so much competition these days. It's intense, and you need to get yourself ahead of everybody else if you want to make sure that you get the deal that you want on the home that you want. You know, I was just speaking to one of our clients yesterday, and she said that her son's looking for a house, and a house has been advertised, has now got 45 viewings in the one day. I did look at the price of it and think, yeah, it's about 100,000 under. But what will happen is, like water, these prices, they will find their own level, you know. So what we'll probably find is that this house was advertised at, I think it's 450, will end up achieving 550 plus, because you tend to find that people get a little bit euphoric when they see something cheap, get excited, and the price goes up and up and up. And this is a common thing that's happening, especially when you get agents coming out of area into other areas and they value incorrectly. And the problem goes both ends. It's more regularly done overvaluing houses, and this is still a big problem, especially here in SW16. We get a lot of agents come from other areas and come up with very, very high valuations, and then the house stays on the market, can't sell, gradually drops and drops and drops until it gets to a level that is acceptable to the buying public. And the problem with that strategy is that by the time it gets to a level that's acceptable, it's lost its sheen a bit. People have seen it for a long time now. It's not been in their price range. All of a sudden, when you've come down that much, people say, well, why did they do that? Why didn't they just sell it at a sensible level in the first place? And it takes the sheen off, and they end up getting not as much money as they would have done had they set the price at perhaps an offers over strategy or a more accurate valuation in the first place. So make sure, if you're a seller, that your valuation is fair and reflective of the current market. We know it's busy out there, but it doesn't mean buyers are paying anything. Buyers are astute. You know, they're going to research the market. They're going to make sure they get the best deal possible for themselves and their families, in the same way that you must make sure you get the best deal possible for yourselves and your families. And there's a balance to be struck there. You know, everybody wants to feel like they've got a deal out of this. And if they don't feel that way, that win-win situation, if you've got a win-lose, then it comes back on you in other ways. For instance, buyers feeling that they've been overpressured to overpaying, and then the survey goes in and they want to renegotiate quite heavily. Your agent should be looking at the different types of buyers as well, and trying to research thoroughly on who is the best buyer and what defines the best buyer. It's not just about the money. Sometimes it's about the intent of the buyer, sometimes the attitude, sometimes it's a family, it's genuine, it's sincere, feels good. Sometimes it's a dealer, can be more ruthless. Perhaps they're going to look to chip you at the last moment. Who knows? You need to kind of work on the personalities that you're dealing with and decide whether you can trust these people. And you should be relying on your agent to give you the full SP on what the people are like. Because if you've got that trust between agent and client, then they can give you the full idea of what they think of the people, what their situation is like, how it feels. Does it feel secure? Does it feel solid? Are they decent people? Do they look like they'll be honest and straightforward to deal with? Are they a bit tricky? Was it a long, hard slog to get them to the price required in order to do a deal? Or did they come straight in at a price that wasn't that far away from the price that's reasonably achievable for your home? These are difficult questions, and it's not an easy thing. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. That's what we're here for. So good luck to you if you're home hunting, and if you're home with the family, enjoying the children over the Easter holidays. Hope you have a lovely time. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition. Until then, stay safe and well. Look after yourselves, and if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.